So what I have here are two printhead cables. They're compatible with the current models. This is a 14 pin or 14 finger printhead cable. This is for the IE3200 or 4720. This is a 24 pin or 24 finger for the XP600 or TX800 heads. Like I said, these are compatible with those printheads. Now the importance of these is they are very important. They plug into the printhead, so they have to go in nice and secure and flush. And if they don't, they get bent, and also it can bend the metal contacts on the printhead as well. And both of those scenarios are not good. So just make sure that you plug these in correctly. And just to make sure that you do, you want to look at the metal contacts on the printhead. You want to take pictures of everything before you disassemble it if you're unsure. If you are unsure, you can ask a technician that sold you the printer or works for the company that sold you the printer. Now the general rule is that a metal contact needs to hit another metal contact. So if you're unsure, you want to make sure that these metal contacts connect with the ones on the printhead. Okay, so some general scenarios that I've come to over the years and since 2008 is basically people tend to plug these in when they're stressed or overworked, and they just don't focus on the current job. Now, the problems I've seen is where people plug these in into the head, they plug them in incorrectly, and then these get bent, and they knew that they plugged them in incorrectly and it was a struggle and it wasn't flush, but still they plugged it in and turned on the machine. Now what can happen with that is a misfire because these contacts don't connect with the printhead. So the printhead gets its information from the motherboard, and the motherboard transfers that information onto these data cables and then to the printhead to fire wherever the main board tells it to. So if these are bent or discolored or have got ink on them in any way, it doesn't send the signal correctly. So you'll get misfiring or maybe even nothing at all on that specific head. Okay, so you got to make sure that this is flush, it goes in nice and crisp and smooth. And if not, you want to pull it out and just inspect it to make sure that the cable is not bent or discolored at all. Discoloring, we'll go over that in a little bit, but if it is bent beyond repair or you can't straighten it out, you can cut a little line with some scissors that is straight and then just insert it back into the printhead. So another scenario would be is that you have a new printhead that you need to plug in. You've taken these cables out and they're severely discolored or burnt. You'll need to replace the cables at that point. You cannot scrape them, any of the burnt part off and then reuse it. It's just better to start fresh and brand new so that you don't have any errors or problems or misfires. So anyhow, if it's discolored, rusted, or anything like that, just replace the cable and move on. The cables are very inexpensive. So anyhow, if you do see something burnt, remove it immediately and replace. So that usually happens when the printhead's gone through so much printing and it has just exceeded, the cable has exceeded its life. Or another scenario is that it has been burnt for a bit, and the reason is because whoever installed it may have left some ink or cleaning solution on it, and it created some type of burnt mark. And it may have not happened right away, but it may have happened over time, depending on where the liquid was on the cables, and it may have functioned but may have not functioned 100%. So if that sounds like something problem you've had, that might be the reason as well. Another scenario is that nothing is working, nothing is coming out, nothing is printing. The printer acts like it's printing, but it doesn't do anything, and you've just done a repair. So when I hear this type of scenario, I know for sure that a fuse on the main board needs to be repaired, or a brand new main board needs to be installed. And the reason is because somebody was working on the machine while it was plugged in, whether it's USB or electrical, which is very dangerous. For one, they can electrocute themselves, but two, we have some fuses on the main board that may have been popped. So if that sounds like your problem, that's probably what had happened. Another scenario is that possible liquid got somewhere either on the side of the head where the cable's plugged in, or on the cables, and it just wasn't cleaned off. So that, and they had inserted into the printhead and plugged it in while there's liquid on this electrical contact, and it had blown the main board. So if the printer is acting like it's printing and it's not firing anything on any channels, no matter whether it's white or colors, that's probably what the problem is. And I can almost guarantee 100% of the times through experience that that's probably what it was. It can also be that there's a surge or a power outage that day or night, and it had just caused a fuse to blow on the main board. So I would inspect your cables regularly when you do anything, like as far as change a head, or you have some type of misfire all of a sudden. It's definitely probably one of the parts that get overlooked. Another thing is if you get ink on these cables while you're working on it, which can happen, I strongly recommend putting some type of paper towel or shop towel over this area while you work on it, because it is prone to get ink on there. Now you can fix these by just using alcohol and just cleaning off these contacts. So just make sure it's dry and that they're clean and they look brand new, and then you can use them. But you want to make sure that they're 100% dry when you do that. Other than that, that is basically everything that I know and have accumulated since 2008 about utilizing any type of printhead cables. They all have the same function. So anyhow, I do have a link to both of these products in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Everything helps us, and purchasing of course helps us as well, so that we can produce videos to give you more useful information. We have lots of information, and we have been in the business for over a decade, and we can help you whether it's this product or another product. So be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and purchase from us. Thanks so much. I'm Anthony Creek.